In a world where Earth has been ravaged by solar flares and the effects of a damaged ozone layer, a lone survivor named Finch navigates the harsh environment. The scorching temperatures and intense UV radiation make life nearly impossible, and most cities have been abandoned. As a robotics engineer, Finch has managed to adapt, using a protective suit and the help of his robot companion, Dewey. On a typical day, Finch and Dewey search the remnants of a desolate city for anything that might be useful. As they explore a store, Finch's equipment warns him of dangerously high UV radiation levels. Dewey diligently collects any remaining items of value. Among the scarce resources, Finch retrieves some dog food for his faithful canine friend, Goodyear. After marking their scavenging location, Finch ventures through the ghost town, a stark reminder of the catastrophe that forced mass evacuations. Out of nowhere, Finch's suit alerts him to an approaching storm. He immediately springs into action, driving his truck as fast as possible to escape the storm's relentless pursuit. Narrowly evading the storm, Finch arrives at his underground hideout, once a laboratory belonging to his former employer. As he settles back in, we discover that Finch is battling tuberculosis. Despite his illness, he lovingly greets Goodyear, preparing the recently found food for his canine companion. With their supplies dwindling, Finch can only afford to sip on a drink as he watches Goodyear eat. As the story unfolds, Finch turns to an AI for assistance in teaching his latest creation, a sophisticated robot, how to care for Goodyear and perform various domestic tasks. This heartwarming endeavor reflects Finch's deep love for his canine companion and offers a fresh perspective on the classic movie narrative where the dog meets a tragic end. In his quest to build the perfect caretaker for Goodyear, Finch studies UV rays and radiation exposure, eventually repurposing Dewey's eyes for his new creation. Upon activation, the robot struggles to understand Finch's intentions, but eventually, a breakthrough occurs when it nods in comprehension. Thrilled with the progress, Finch imagines a bright future for Goodyear and his new robotic friend, who reveals that its primary purpose is to care for the dog in Finch's absence. However, their tranquil existence is interrupted when a sudden power outage forces Finch to fix the wind turbine outside. As the power returns, the robot adopts the name Jeff, while a looming storm threatens their home. Desperate for information, Finch connects Jeff to a weather station, learning of 4 converging storms that will last for around 40 days. Faced with imminent danger, Finch concludes that they must abandon their current location and head towards San Francisco. As they prepare for the journey, Finch continues to work on Jeff, refining his robotic body, optimizing data transfer, and teaching him how to navigate the world on his own 2 feet. After some practice, Jeff starts walking, delighting Finch but making Goodyear wary of the robot. With the storm closing in, Finch hurriedly packs essentials and disconnects Jeff's data transfer at only 72%, leaving the robot with a childlike demeanor. Realizing Dewey is blind, Finch attaches a camera so the little robot can see again. The group then sets off towards San Francisco in an RV. On the journey, Jeff's curiosity is piqued as he observes Finch's actions, and they manage to stay ahead of the storm for now. Eventually, they stop in an abandoned town, where Finch, donning a UV protection suit, teaches Jeff how to scavenge and warns him of the sun's hazards. Their grim situation is momentarily forgotten when they have fun popping popcorn in the scorching sunlight, but reality sets back in as the storm approaches. Scrambling to escape the storm, Finch and the group are ultimately caught in its path. He and Jeff rush outside to secure the RV with wires. As Finch tires, Jeff takes over, successfully completing the task. Back inside, the group braces for impact as the massive tornado strikes, snapping the wires one by one until only one remains. Miraculously, the storm passes, leaving everyone unharmed. Finch praises Jeff for his efforts, but notices the RV's damaged front tire. Although they have a spare, they lack a jack to lift the vehicle. Demonstrating his remarkable strength, Jeff lifts the RV himself, allowing Finch to change the tire. As dawn breaks, Jeff endeavors to converse with Goodyear, attempting to grasp the canine's language. Finch, however, interjects, asserting it will take time for Jeff and Goodyear to build a rapport. Later, they spot a sign indicating San Francisco is 1522 miles away. When Jeff queries Finch about trust, Finch, unable to explain the concept, recounts a personal story instead. He tells of a time when he single-handedly resolved a software issue but credited the entire team, earning their trust in the process. Finch's health, however, declines as the tale unfolds. Upon stopping at a diner, Finch coughs up blood, realizing his time is limited. He brings Goodyear inside to bond, while Jeff fumbles with the RV. With music blaring, Jeff attempts to drive but accidentally releases the handbrake, causing the RV to collide with a car. Acting innocent when confronted by Finch, Jeff reverses the vehicle, only to crash again. An irate Finch exposes his sunburned skin, chastising Jeff and reminding him his sole responsibility is Goodyear's well-being. After leaving the diner, Finch takes it upon himself to teach Jeff to drive. Initially clumsy, Jeff soon masters the skill and drives with ease, pleasing Finch, but leaving Goodyear unconvinced. That evening, they camp roadside, admiring the northern lights where the ozone layer once was. Jeff proposes driving at night, citing the danger of daylight. Finch, however, warns of nocturnal threats from starving individuals. By morning, Finch's health worsens. He coughs up blood and shivers uncontrollably. Jeff tenderly cares for him, offering to summon a doctor. They press on with their journey and eventually reach a bustling city. Jeff rouses Dewey, and the pair set off to scavenge for provisions. They stumble upon a ransacked hospital, but Jeff, naive to its looted state, ventures inside. Finch awakens to find both robots absent and senses impending danger. Though feeble, he gears up to search for Jeff and Dewey, unaware of the lurking figure in the shadows. Upstairs, Jeff gleefully discovers food, medication, and a stylish jacket. Dewey, on the other hand, locates snacks but overlooks a nearby bear trap. Reaching for the treats, the trap ensnares and mangles him. Upon discovering the now damaged Dewey, Finch, overcome with sadness, offers a heartfelt apology. Soon after, Finch hears a suspicious noise and reunites with Jeff. He urgently emphasizes the need to leave the unsafe location. The pair make a hasty escape, with Finch barely able to stand. Once they reach the RV, they hastily drive off, only to be pursued by another vehicle. After some distance, Finch entrusts Jeff with the wheel, cautioning him to avoid future blunders. Noticing the pursuer, they extinguish their headlights, relying on Jeff's night vision. As the unidentified car persists, Finch urges Jeff to accelerate. Driving into a storm, Finch grabs the wheel, steering the RV off the road and towards an underpass. Ignoring Jeff's warnings about the RV's height, Finch persists, resulting in a collision that shatters the vehicle's solar panels. Post-crash, Jeff employs his strength to maneuver the damaged RV into the underpass. The mysterious car draws near, hesitates, then retreats. Once certain they are alone, Finch exits the RV and discovers the ruined solar panels. He berates himself for the error and admits his inability to repair the damage. Jeff offers to take them to San Francisco, but Finch curtly silences him. Frustrated, Finch returns to the RV while Jeff remains outside, soaked by rain. Eventually, Jeff re-enters the RV and informs Finch he believes they'll reach San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge. Finch recounts another tale, divulging his distrust of people and the story of how he found Goodyear, frightened and abandoned in a bag. He speaks of his vow to protect the dog, noting that hunger can transform even the kindest person into a murderer. Finch admits that, in his case, it turned him into a coward, as he hid while witnessing a mother and daughter's brutal murder in a supermarket. The following day, a road sign indicates they are 480 miles from San Francisco. Jeff takes the wheel as an enfeebled Finch rests. Suddenly, Jeff spots a butterfly on the windshield, prompting him to pull over and wake Finch. As Finch reaches out to the butterfly, he realizes the sunlight no longer harms him. The UV radiation has diminished enough to become harmless. Though scientifically dubious, this revelation elates Finch, who steps outside and enjoys the sun. They continue their journey, driving through fields of blooming flowers. Later, Finch dresses for a picnic, an experience he hasn't had in over a decade. While basking in the sun, he reminisces about his past and ponders the life he could have lived. Inspired, Jeff asserts they can reach the Golden Gate Bridge in just 18 hours, but Finch admits he won't make it. Saddened, Jeff vows to care for Goodyear in his stead. Finch retrieves Goodyear's ball, and they play fetch together. Finch gently hands the ball to Jeff, explaining that sharing the ball is a heartfelt way to establish trust with a dog. They share a joyful moment before Finch is overtaken by a violent coughing fit, blood staining his white suit. As Jeff offers assistance, Finch gratefully acknowledges the help he's already provided. They share a heartfelt handshake and embrace, revealing Jeff's emotional depth. Finch, now weak, is helped into the RV by Jeff. As Goodyear comforts him, Jeff gathers their belongings. Finch pets Goodyear one last time before succumbing to his fate. They cremate Finch and his UV suit on the plains, mourning his loss. Afterward, Jeff assumes Finch's daily routine, caring for Goodyear. They bond and continue their journey, eventually arriving at the Golden Gate Bridge. There, Jeff builds a memorial for Finch, finding messages left by other survivors, hinting at the potential for reunions. In the final scene, Jeff affixes his drawing of Finch, Goodyear, and himself to the fence before departing for new adventures.